Hello and good evening. This is the Babble podcast, sponsored by Minor Influence. Episode 2.
Yeah.
We
can talk about music, or we can talk about some stories back in the day.
We'll do both. So, first things first, as you can see behind my melon-sized noggin, white poster, first show ever.
Yeah.
Lineup consisted of Ant Shantytown, which still exists. On February 16th, we had Chiforia, Gross Evolution, and the headliner that evening, Ken South Rock. Now, I don't know if you remember any of these bands.
Oh yeah, no, I recently, I'm not gonna get at the top, but I recently saw the singer of Gross Evolution a couple months ago. So he's in a new band. Don't remember the name of the band, but we'll
He has some. What was his name? Nerwin was the first person we ever recorded with.
Yeah.
And he has probably still some recordings, maybe, I don't know, of. Remember that? First time we ever walked in somewhere. But his other person was Rob. Rob from Noise Kitten did Another Victim Pop Culture as a single.
Yeah.
Nerwin did Another Victim plus, I think, 2 or 3 other things. I remember we were there for like a day.
I remember standing outside the back door screaming at the back door.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so. I was right at the back door and the mic was right there and I was screaming and I was outside. Or maybe I was playing guitar outside and it was going through. It was something. I was right at the back door.
It was an interesting experience. I do remember that. But anyway, so
Ken South Rock.
Growth Evolution was punk as punk could be. Very Casualties, very. I guess this is the only Spanish band I know. I don't even know if they're Spanish. Is Mars Volta? Is that Spanish?
I don't know.
Are they?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, but they were cool. I thought in the aspect of them speaking English and Spanish. That was cool. Bilingual punk, and they had a very interesting message. Plus, their logo for the band was of an evolution.
Oh yeah.
It was cool, but that's what I remember. And then Chiforia was ska.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting thing because I actually went to high school with the bass player Kenny. No, not Kenny. Joey. And then the drummer, I forget his name. He was a big Misfits fan, but they were cool, and they also had brass. Yeah. They were a real ska band because they had a tuba player.
They did have a tuba.
They had, I think, a trumpet. Maybe. I remember the tuba guy.
I know there was a tuba.
Yeah, I remember that guy. But they were cool. I liked them. And then Ken South Rock was cool because they were one of the first bands I actually YouTubed and watched their video. And it was really cool to see an acoustic guitarist and a drummer.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
And they were like, go ahead.
He was from Japan.
Right. Oh, yeah. The singer was as Japanese as could be.
And then they were from New York City or something. But I don't even know how. I know how we got the show. We were on Reverb Nation.
Yep.
And I guess back in the day, bands, what they would do is they would look at other Jacksonville or Orange Park band, or
I think Chiforia reached out to us.
And it was Gross Evolution.
Oh, it was Greece. Yeah. Okay, so Gross reached out to us and asked us to do.
Because I think he heard one song. He's like, "Oh, these guys are looking at punk. Oh, these are good. Yeah, look at these guys."
And that show's on YouTube. Go for it.
I remember because we started off with Another Victim. That was fun. And I remember you counted it off. And I had one of those, because all the pedals. I mean, I looked at my pedal board today after watching JHS and talking about, stomp, what you stomp on. And so most of mine had a little button, a little toe button. And then
what they're called?
I don't know what they're called.
But
it's my little toe button. Yeah. But and then the only pedal of mine that's like a boss style whole thing like that is my grunge. And I 1, 2, 3, 4 we go to step on it, and then my cable is right underneath in the little crevice. So when I go to click it, it doesn't even turn on. So it's like the first show, the first song, the first.
Yeah, it was a bunch of things.
It was fun. That was
We
fun.
we learned a lot that night. Things you're supposed to do on stage, things you're not supposed to do,
I've since gotten
things to
better.
prepare for. Yeah, no.
Cause
But that evening, like I said, Shantytown was the first place we ever played.
yeah.
We had to rent an amp. We rented a Fender Rumble 100 watt from Crazy Dave's.
Mm-hmm.
We got a deal.
I had my Mustang amp.
You had your Mustang amp at the time. Our first drummer. And who else? And Nathan played.
No, he didn't.
No?
No.
Was
No.
it a 3-piece?
Yeah. He never. He tried to record, and then I remember like he couldn't really like. I remember like he couldn't. It was hard. I don't know. He was a great guitarist, but he had difficulty like writing to other stuff like and
So
time.
really, did we play as a 3-piece? No. Started as a 3.
Yeah. And
But
then,
so not to cut you off, but trying to remember this evening. Few things I distinctly remember. One, that night also is recorded by JSO because out there, you know where Shantytown is, right?
yeah.
Outside Springfield. Well, that night there was a horrible stabbing, and not like it's weird in a sense that I remember that because when we got done and we went outside, cops everywhere, and we're like, why? It's like, oh, someone was stabbed like 2 blocks away or a block away, and I was just like, what a night to remember.
I
Like,
don't remember that.
I do vividly because again, JSO was everywhere, and someone had been stabbed or beaten, or there was someone out in the road, fucking hurt. And I
February
remember.
16th, 2014.
Was it 2014?
Yeah, because Queens of Stone Age released. This is how I know. Because Queens of Stone Age released Like Clockwork in 2013, and then they went on tour, and we saw them a few days before. And so on my shirt, because I remember we saw them a few days before, because you had a Chelsea Wolf shirt on. I
Yes, I
had
did.
my Queens of the Stone. No, I did not have Queens of Stone Age shirt on. I had a different shirt, but you had that. So on the back of my Queens of Stone Age, it says, the shirt, tour shirt says 2014. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's when your first show was.
Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, but no, Ken South Rock, YouTube, the dude,
I think they're still around. I added them to a playlist.
nice, but they were an acoustic with the drummer. They were dope. I remember the guitarist, the Japanese guy. I remember him vividly because he didn't smoke cigarettes. He rolled cigarettes, and he like had a can of like real smoking tobacco, and he would just. I remember how Shantytown's designed differently now, but there used to be a church pew that now doesn't exist or maybe is used for something else, but he would sit on that pew and roll cigarettes.
Was that on the side?
That was on the side.
Yeah, they got rid of it. There's like a little tiny little
There's like a ledge, but it was interesting
Yeah.
because if I took a picture, what an interesting image. A well-dressed Japanese
He was in a
man.
kimono.
He was.
Yeah.
So he's a well-dressed Japanese man, has a tin of American tobacco, rolling up cigarettes. You know what was next to him? Illuminating a cigarette machine.
Oh yeah, they still have
That's
cigarettes.
what caught me off guard is because he simply could have asked anyone. He's like, no, I got it. He didn't ask anybody for a cigarette because he sat there and just did his own and would just smoke and just watch everyone and drank beer, and he was very cordial and didn't really speak a lot, but he was like very observant.
From what I remember him playing, he was a madman.
He was good. I liked his imagery.
Yeah.
But anyway, so February
14,
16th.
16.
February 16th, 2014, Minor Influence came into existence live-wise,
Mm-hmm.
as we had done prior practices. And we finally had set something down. And ever since then, from that day forward, it almost was like every weekend or every other weekend, there was something. Practice was pretty, like, on point. Like, if there was anything going on, practice at least happened.
Yeah.
And then, things evolution from there. But that night, I remember a stabbing.
And then my pedal board was, I had that Big Muff, I had a wah, I had an overdrive that I never, ever used. Small clone. My board was, I didn't have a board.
You used a Russian Big Muff and that was it.
No, I didn't have a Russian. I had the
No, me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying the only thing I was using that night was the rented amp, an unfiltered, like an unmodified Jaguar bass that Rob gave me, and the Russian Big Muff that he gave me. And that was it.
Yeah.
And we played the show and we made mistakes, but we definitely kicked off something that was dope as hell. But that show still on YouTube floating around.
Yeah.
I think with a couple hundred views, which is kind of. I don't even count the views. I just count the fact that it's just recorded for evidence purposes. That thing was like, that was a night to remember. But I remember, like I said, the biggest thing I remember was one, the people that showed up. Two.
There was a big crowd.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it appeared big because it's the.
Well,
because
Chiforia had fans everywhere because they were. You do not remember them that much?
I remember the tuba guy was big.
Yeah, he was a big black guy.
Was he? I just remember.
But there was a whole brass section. They were able to fit a lot of people in that small venue, and they played. I thought they played pretty freaking well. But what was interesting is Chiforia was, like I said, that Joey I went to high school with at Inglewood. He played bass, and then I forget the drummer. His name might have also been Nathan or something, but he was a huge Misfit fan. Like, he went to school, and his back patch was the skull, whatever they call it. I know there's an actual name for it, but the skull, that was his thing. And I just remember seeing him. I was like, wow, what a blast from the past. Like, I hadn't seen him in like a couple of years, and here they are opening. But yeah, no, we played, and Shantytown forever became one of those clubs that we just repetitively went back to and have enjoyed, and I'm glad has survived.
It was when we got back together. It was our second show, because the first show when we got back was at Nobby's.
Nobby's was another venue that I have full respect for.
The owner.
I wish.
Remember seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, but like in general though, I feel Nobby's is another venue that we can kind of pinpoint and go, without them, a lot of shows that we didn't. Because the one night that I remember Nobby's in St. Augustine was with the Strong Guy, and then
I just remember Warm Like Winter.
Warm Like Winter, the Strong. Well, Warm Like Winter was across the street. I don't think they played a show at Nobby's.
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
Yeah, because I remember they had
Was that the one that we did
flamingo thing?
Was that the night that we had like 4 or 5 bands and we played last at like 1 o'clock in the morning?
Probably.
That was an interesting show. That was actually one of the fastest sets we ever did, which was kind of cool because like we improvised really well, and we like kicked off the night with like, because it seemed like every band, because that's when Ruffians played. I think it was one more guy. Or one strong guy, or strong guy. There was 2 bands that showed up. I have their CDs actually.
I know what you're talking about.
Still,
Chris remembers one of them because he had gotten a tattoo of them or something. Like
really?
That. Yeah.
And then Warm Like Winter, and then Ruffian came in with a keyboardist and stuff. They were cool.
A lot of bands I don't remember.
There's a list somewhere that I've typed in where there's at least 3 or 4 dozen bands from Jacksonville that we've played with or not toured, but like, you know, obviously the biggest bands we've ever played to open for was Jerry Only's Misfits, One Eyed Dolls, Psycho Stick, that was the same show, Dirty Reggae Punks.
Don't remember.
You don't remember Dirty Reggae Punks? Bro, that night should have been remembered. Because that was the night we played a Green Jello cover. We did 3 Little Pigs at the end of the night. And they brought the couch cushion mascots that everybody wore, the googly-eyed PBR that was, bro, you, ladies and gentlemen, for the 1 or 2 people that are going to watch this video, let me explain something about Dirty Reggae Punks. They were either managed or they were somehow connected to Green Jello. If anybody doesn't know who Green Jello is the clay animation. He's an artist as well as a musician.
You think he did the high-pitched voice on that song?
Mm-mm.
No, that's Maynard.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. But anyway, so Green Jello, look them up. clay animation, Three Little Pigs, a bunch of other different songs, but like I forget who the artist's name is.
Where did we play that?
That was Rain Dogs. Dude, that was one of the best shows we ever did, period. Because all the energy and the props and like the band was good and like that thing, everybody was on point that night. But I remember it because, all right, so again, this is the shout out to Dirty Reggae Punks. They brought couch cushion. The mascots they brought were a lot like the same. You ever heard of Radioactive Chicken Head? They're a punk band or Chicken Soup or something, but they're a punk band that it's a chicken theme. So every musician wears a chicken head. You never seen them? We'll look them up sometime. But they did the same thing, but they had like a raccoon head that was googly eyed. They had a PBR can. They had like other various mascots, and you had people wearing them and dance around. So there's a video somewhere of a bunch of guys in the basement or the back area, whatever you want to call it, of Rain Dogs, where it was hot, sweaty, but you're wearing these couch cushion, duct tape fused mascot heads.
I don't remember any
That's
of that.
you.
Did I
that,
leave?
No, you might have, and you might have fucking missed out on some good shit because that show was like the best because not only did, again, I'm gonna plug them as much as I can right now. Dirty Reggae Punks. Not only was their set that good, but the dudes were awesome. Everybody got along. Everybody drank that night. The bar tab was like forever flowing. I remember having pineapple ale the whole evening, and that stuff went so smooth.
I don't remember.
It was like candy. Like that thing was freaking. And there, like I said, the mascots. I was a PBR can most of the night, just bouncing around and had a ball. That's disappointing. Shame on you.
You should get that list though of bands that we played with because
It's probably my CD thing.
Because talking to Brandon of Kill Tactic, because we were talking about, he was like, because I said, I've had this band. I told saying, I've had my influence since 2014 or whatever, and done shows, and I'm like, were you down here? And he's like, yeah, and he was doing shows too, and he's like, we might have done a show together.
Maybe. It depends what was his band called.
I don't remember. We'll have to ask him.
We'll have to ask him. Maybe another episode we'll have him as a special guest, and
But
anyway, so that night, Rain Dogs. So Nobby's was cool because Nobby's is where we had the campfire on the deck outside. People were making s'mores. We became friends with like the family that ran Nobby's.
I'm surprised that because when we played again, in 2023, I was like, hey, remember us? I mean, my influence from 10 years. Like, yeah, you played when the stage was over on that side. I was like, yeah.
Did they move it?
Yeah, they moved it.
Yeah.
So when you come in, as opposed to going, you go around right here, and it's right there.
That's
it's a
fine.
better spot.
They had a really cool bathroom, which is weird because when you go to venues, you don't really think of the bathrooms being like Rain Dogs was nice because when you walked in, it was very business casual. Tile on the floor, floral shit on the walls. There wasn't a whole lot of graffiti. Nobby's, that's Rain Dogs. I remember they could have been repainted.
Because I didn't know this, but when we started doing shows at Rain Dogs, they were already 2 years old or a year old already.
Really?
Yeah, so they were fairly new when we started doing shows there.
But anyway, so here's an interesting conversation. What is your take on bathrooms at venues? Because I have a hot take on that.
I don't know, they're gross, so just there's no opinion. Sticker it up.
Maybe it's not a hot take, but I know because I remember the Black Widow show we did on my birthday.
Where was it?
That was at Hourglass.
Oh, that?
Yeah. The other one with 10-foot beast, Loudon, Sea of Apparitions. Yes, that was on my birthday at Hourglass, and that's right next to.
That was what's his name? He was the one in Loudon. Is his name Mike?
Maybe.
Mike Easter or Esther?
That whole show was cool because do you remember the...
Cameron and I were in PJs.
Yes. And we played, and I just turned 21.
Yeah.
But that was owned by Madame Webb or Madame Widow because all the bartenders and everybody wore corsets.
Yeah.
And that venue was cool because they had video games in the bathroom. If you went in the women's bathroom, it was nothing but dudes and G-strings.
Oh.
And then if you went in the men's... See, this is again why venue bathrooms are so memorable. Because Hourglass Pub, if you went into the bathroom, if you were a woman, you got to see well-hung individuals all throughout the bathroom. And if you went into the men's restroom, it was tits everywhere.
I remember that.
And that was fun. And they had an arcade, they had a bonfire backyard. It was right next to that dance club, so you got to hear EDM in between doing sets.
I don't think they're a venue anymore.
They're not, but I'm saying that was, and I remember also it being right next to the jailhouse, so it was just like an interesting like visual to go walk outside the club and look over and see the jail, JSO's jail, and then you go back in the club and you've got women in corsets, and Madame Widow was out there. She was a beautiful woman, very voluptuous, but she was a she ran that thing like a well-oiled machine. That was a good club. I miss it because we went there a few times just to watch other bands, and they had a theater.
Yeah,
it was a whole thing.
I remember like the front kind of what it looked like. And
I remember everything about it.
I remember because I was like, oh, let's just play in PJ. So it's funny because So the training events that happened because like I knew that I thought it was funny that like Kurt Cobain got married in PJs, and that he would definitely be like, let's like be a person to play a show in PJs.
Yeah.
And so I thought that'd be funny. So Cameron and I wore PJs that show. And so I remember I was leaving work in Fleming Island, and I changed into PJs, and then I came to the venue, but that just got me thinking. I thought about that show and playing in PJs. I was like, what if we had a whole show just in PJs? And so that's
it's the whole sleepover thing that you get later on.
Yeah,
which was a brilliant, comfortable, fun thing.
That was at Rain Dogs, and that was a huge turnout.
Yeah.
There was. I wish someone has a video somewhere, but they say like don't cup the mic, like they always.
Yeah.
So I wish I got. Someone has it. I think Emma's boyfriend has it. Has these videos of like when I was screaming for Looking Glass Elf, the chorus. I'm like, that was some. I'm like, where is this coming from? It was some like hardcore screaming, and then at the last song we did Anarchy or something. And so as I'm screaming, I'm screaming, don't cup the mic, as I'm just...
Don't cup the mic.
It's just... guttural, oh, God.
That's nice.
But
so...
What was some other...
Hourglass Pub was fun. Rain Dogs was fun.
Well, I'm trying to think. There had to have been some crazy shows that we've played. I mean, I think anytime we
Borough Bar was always our craziest. Borough Bar, all right, because, ladies and gentlemen, again, for the two people that are going to watch this, and I appreciate the two of you, Borough Bar, before it became whatever it is now,
it's
a different venue,
yeah.
Which is cool because the building's being used and people are like going to it, which is all what I like to see. Is even if it's not,
a venue.
It is a venue. Okay. Trust me, it's a venue because I've driven by it numerous times. It's a venue. It's a new venue, but anyway. That's not the point. The point of the matter is Borough Bar, there was a night. So I went, one of the first shows I went to that wasn't band related was go see Culture Killer and Jungle Rock. And that was a good show. That was a really good show. Anyway, that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is there's a night to remember where Vinnie Vomit, his then baby mama, you, Cody, Cameron, myself, Jeremy, various other people did a show. I think Status Foe or Gross Evolution, someone also played that show. But what made it special was not only did Anthony perform well, he got half naked during the show and then What was Vince's?
So
Vince's.
this is exactly what happened.
All right, go for
Okay,
it.
so we were playing like last or second to last or something like that, and so it was Vince's birthday.
Yes, it was.
So it was Vince's birthday, and he was gonna wear Rose's. That was her name. I don't know if that's her name. Anyways, Rose. He was gonna wear her prom dress
Yes.
and get birthday cake thrown at him.
Right.
Right, but his.
Is that from something?
I have no idea.
Okay.
So
he thought of this on his own.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so
What a guy.
they didn't get cake, so he wasn't gonna wear the dress. Obviously, you know, like the obvious. So like, okay, so me, Vince, and Rose are hanging out, and you guys are hanging out, and so we're hungry. So we go to walk down the street to the McDonald's.
There was a McDonald's in walking distance from there?
It was like 10 minutes maybe.
Still though, was there McDonald's?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So you know when you go over.
No,
Okay,
that's fine.
so we're walking down, and it starts to rain, and it's like close to 10. And so we get to McDonald's and the lobby's closed because it's 10. So we're like, we'll just walk in the drive-through, and we walk and we stand and we're waiting, and they're like, I don't know if it like doesn't recognize us because we're not a vehicle, or if they just like fuck these kids. Like,
because
they're just. I'm like, God damn, I'm hungry. So then we have to walk back, and it starts to pour now. It was raining as we were walking, but it starts to pour as we're walking back, and we're soaked, and so we go into I think Vince's car, and or Rose's car or whatever, and so I'm soaked, and I'm like, hey guys, like, Vince, you're not wearing the dress? No. I'm like, hey, I don't want to like set up my gear wet and get electrocuted or something. Also, and I'm soaked. Also, can I change and be in something dry? And can I wear the dress? They're like, yeah. So we go to McDonald's and we get food, and they get like sweet and sour sauce, because they get chicken tenders and stuff.
I remember those.
And so then I don't know who was playing Gross Evolution or Status Quo or whatever. So in Burrow Bar, there's a door right here, and then you open the door, and then here's the mosh pit, and then there's the stage. And so they have the door closed when the band's playing, and I say, hey Vince, go, because everyone's like jamming and moshing and looking forward, and so the door is behind them. So I'm like, hey Vince, I'm gonna come through this door, like open it so I can run through. And like I remember running in the prom, just running straight through this crowd, and they separate because they're like, what the fuck is going on? And then they see me and I'm moshing, and then everyone just kind of just comes in together, and then we play, and then I have to set up in a dress. And then like I'm playing, and then Vince, and as I get into the crowd while playing guitar on one of the songs, Vince and Rose decide to throw sweet and sour sauce at me. And I'm covered. It's on my guitar.
I'm so glad you remember that shit.
And it's funny, so I was looking at my Mustang, like, because I used the Mustang, I guess I had. And I looked at it years and years later, and I don't clean my guitars, like you can see, like, and so I see on the little like switch, I see like
residue.
I'm like, what the hell is this? And then there was residue on my guitar strap.
Sweet and sour sauce.
I was like, what is this? And then I like looked and I put two together. I think I smelled it. I'm like, sweet and sour. What? Oh, Jesus Christ. So
dirty motherfucker.
I was like, wow.
But no, yes, you wore a dress.
There's pictures.
There's pictures of you in a dress. You were bathed in sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah.
You played a really good show.
There's a
we
picture.
We had a lot of fun. That was an evening to remember as well, because it was just a culmination. Because a lot of people were like, because I guess Kurt at one point wore a dress on stage.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But like, I don't because I thought the joke. So this was when Dane Cook was still funny, or is funny.
When he was relevant.
Okay, calm down. Anyway, I still think it's funny. Anyway, so Dane Cook has a whole thing about sweet sauce all over my body from Burger King, and the fact that you did that triggered me into thinking like, this is too many references happening at once. The dress is from Kurt. The fucking sweet sauce is from Dane Cook. It's all coming together. It's a Kurt Cook combination. The fucking music was good. The venue was good. Everything was good. And I was just like, I'm not going to forget about this because, like, you in this bright red dress flowing in the breeze and playing. It's just like an image to behold.
It's funny. I want to make it a poster because there's a picture of me and Vince, and I'm just like this, and he's covered and I'm covered, and then there's another picture of us playing, and you see Vince, and he's kind of moshing, and you can see he's kind of like this, and he's like center, and it's like Cody, it's you, and then it's me, and it's like it looks, and you see the backdrop of like the Mexican standoff that Burrow.
It was brilliant.
It was a great picture.
It was brilliant.
Great picture.
Love it.
That was
art. That's art.
I mean, even that, like when we played the bridge show, was it our first? It was our first time playing the bridge show. So it was Jason, John, Alex, and I, and so Jason wore the hot dog costume.
God damn.
He was so out. It's great watching, like seeing him play now, or then. He's like a drunk little child. He can shred, but he's just like. So and then I'm like, John, let's wear dresses, you know. So then he wore a little like short dress, and I wore a dress. And fireworks were going off in the background, and it was fun. But those old shows. You remember the Halloween show at Heebie-Jeebie?
Yeah, vividly.
That was fun.
That was brilliant because we went as
farm
animals. Like from the book Animal House. Like we were fucking Cody had the pig mask, looked like Pig Bennis from Mushroom Head. That was dope because he put piercings and things in it, and I was like, that turned out really good.
We all had names that show.
Yeah. I was Cowford because that's what Jacksonville used to be called. And the cow thing was great, still had the mask. And then you were the country bumpkin.
I was Florida man.
He was Florida man. With the freaking overalls. Yeah, yes he was. Cletus and and then I remember that night was funny because like I had bought the cow mask and was looking so forward and just rocking out as like a cow, and then realized I couldn't see shit. Like, I could not see anything. And so, at the time, someone was like, yeah, how can you perform? Because what I was going to do is, during Jersey Devil, or what you call Pine Barren Jersey, whatever, that song, to reveal that I was the Jersey Devil, I was going to rip the cow mask off and have this red face with the black eyes and all that. And that didn't work out. So Code's like, I have my rabbit mask. And I said, perfect. So you ever heard of the band Bunny and the Bear? Mm-hmm. That was I felt like that because like the rabbit mask. And then as soon as the song kicked off with the Jersey Devil thing, I ripped the mask off, you know, during the whole bridge. I think it was a bridge or whatever. The breakdown. And I took the mask off and it turned out really good. And that show was good. There's a picture of us next to that
T-Rex
head. There's a picture of me as the cow and everything else. It was brilliant because when we went to HBGB or Heebie-Jeebie, it was always something. The first show we were luchadors, but we were luchadors in plaid because because that was the weird thing. We wanted everybody to match.
I know the picture. I had a vest, and then a vest, and then just a Doors t-shirt. You and Cameron had
oh no, we all had plaid. This was a different show.
Okay.
But our first one, there's evidence that, like, we had the bit was that, and we all had like capes, and we had all these different things.
We had capes
and the pinata and everything. And then the next show we had more pinata and confetti cannon and the guitar, and we smashed the shit out of it. And then the other gig was the Florida Man, and then it seemed like every time we went, we reinvented like what should we like?
Yeah, because there was one kid there. I think his name was Ian, I think, and he had told. I said this last time. He told us that.
By the way, Heebie-Jeebie was a club in Brunswick. For anybody that wishes to remember that.
We have a live we have a live show on that cassette bootleg that I uploaded. It's on YouTube. It's so great, and it's funny because
it's so good that
I can pinpoint. It's because I didn't date it on. I didn't put the date. Or I might have put the date on the cassette, but like I don't know the date. But like I pinpointed the date because I was like, when was it? Because I'm like, damn, when was it? You know, because like Tony takes pictures of took pictures of all the shows, almost all the shows, and so I was like, which one was it? And then when hearing the cassette, I'm like, oh shit, I can hear Jeremy. So that was one of the shows that we were 3 Guitar Attack.
God, that was so good.
Because it was me, Jeremy, Cody, then you and Cameron. Like that, because like you hear him talking and he's on stage, and so you're like, okay, like that was when we were like.
I have to admit, having 3 guitarists, some people call it overkill. I think
they have 2 bands that do it perfectly.
Bad Religion
and Queens of the Stone Age.
Yes, because it's Josh Homme, Troy,
and Dean.
Dean who?
Fertitta, he was in the Dead Weather.
I don't know that one.
Jack White, kind of super group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You ever remember when Jack White used to have a drummer that his whole drum set was on the ground?
Yeah.
That was interesting.
He stood up or something.
Oh no, he sat in an interesting position. His whole set looked melted because everything was like on ground level.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Anyway, Jack White's cool.
But yeah, so that was one of the few shows that we did as a 5-piece. And
we did many shows as a 5-piece.
Yeah. But that was recorded, and because we got to do the 5-piece thing near the end of stuff.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I did.
Well, as the Good Stuff cheat, it's a 5-piece, because you can hear everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy did record it.
No, he didn't. It was 4.
Yeah.
Because Jeremy was editing.
Yeah.
And it was Cody, me, Cameron, and you.
Yeah.
That is correct.
You know, it was really fun. So I don't know if you remember. You weren't there that time when we were at Jeremy's recording. We were doing. He has this. I don't know if he still has it. But he had this huge like heart monitor from like the 60s or 50s or something. And so he'd record with it. Like you could record, vocals with it. And so I wanted for Looking Glass Self, I wanted a real Scentless Apprentice in utero. Like if you
Looking Glass Self on Good Stuff Cheap is probably one of the best recording.
Oh yeah.
Because the ad libs y'all added, the whole weird talking to yourself.
Yeah.
That turned out really not trying to strike more ego into you, but like y'all made a good executive decision by doing that.
Because I don't know whose idea it was to do the everyone saying a line. Might have been Jeremy's, might have been Cameron's, might have been Cody's.
It was somebody.
It was someone because Jeremy said the verse, Cameron said the verse, and Cody said the verse. So it was one of their ideas. I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Because I wanted muttering, but they're like, well, if you want, I'm like, yes. And then with the chorus, if you listen to Scentless Apprentice by Nirvana, and then you listen, I was aiming for like that type of thing. And there's this, I'm like, I need like harsh screaming, and so he just boosted like the level of something on the heart monitor thing. So it's me screaming into this heart monitor from like the 60s or something.
That's cool.
And that's how we got it.
That's a fun little tidbit that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then remember at the end of Another Victim, I remember we were recording at the old house.
Yes.
The vocals. And it was you, Cameron, Jeremy, and Cody sitting on the couch. And I'm screaming into the closet that's in the living room.
Yes.
And I'm hot because it's just, and I
God, you know what? Let's talk about how many times you bitched, and I mean it, bitched about the temperature of a club to the point of, you know what, I'm just going to play naked. Fucking dick out, fucking don't give a shit because I'm uncomfortable. And you just bitched until you got naked or just about naked. Because again, in state of Florida, you can't with the wang out. But like your boxers, like there's pictures somewhere on YouTube. Oh, that was when we did Anarchy in the UK cover. There is a picture of you in your striped boxers, and I'm shirtless. But that's as far as I went because I was like, guys, I don't need to. Because also too, unlike you wearing boxers, I still wore briefs. and it was nothing flattering about a fat kid with fucking his fucking bulge and these tight briefs, sweated, my ass clean to the cotton material. Like, I mean, it might have been a gay man's fantasy, but like
I vividly remember when we did that at across the street. I remember exactly because Cameron and I both already had kind of like the idea of like playing in boxers and whatever. And so like I remember
Cameron can hide because he's behind the drums.
So I remember this was funny because I remember like we were hot, so we were taking off our shirts. And then like someone was like someone was screaming or woo going on about it, and then like as soon as they said like take off our pants we were already taking off our pants. Like as soon as they were saying take off your pants, like we're already doing it.
Yeah.
Like
we don't need you.
We don't need you. We're already there.
Yeah, we are in the mindset of being naked.
Exactly, like
because we're comfortable in our skin and we're minor influence.
And so it was like me and Cameron were in our boxers, and then like. And there's a picture of that, and then I think it's just great.
Yeah, that was anarchy in the UK.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we can never agree on a no one, remember when we were trying to do covers, and it was like, Cameron was like, no, I don't want to do that one. Cody was like, nah, I don't want to do that one. And then you were just like, I just want to do a cover. And so Cameron was like, let's do Anarchy in the UK. I'm like, fine, fuck it. And I never learned the lyrics because I was like, you know what? The crowd knows it, and the crowd wants to be a part of something. So I just let them sing half of it.
That's smart. It's not a bad thing at all. But no, but yes, that could be a whole segment about minor influence, knowing that the club is too hot, so clothes are optional.
And you know what? It still happens because there's a video of us, our second show playing back together, and we were at Shantytown, and it was Jason, John, and Alex and I, and there's a video, and so like Jason, just 5 sheets to the wind already, like he's just gone. John is 3 sheets to the wind. Alex is up there with him, and I like chugged a stout, and I was just like, oh, that did not sit well. So we're playing, and we make. I think I told you we covered Blue. And it's like a 2.5 minute song, and we made it like a sludgy 6 minute version.
Yeah.
And then I am in my boxers, like I strip, and I'm wearing I'm not in boxers, I'm in like tight kind of boxers, and my pants are at my ankles, and I'm just playing. And then if you see it, because that's when we met Kill Tactic, and when we were all drunk, and so like Dylan, like I'm in my boxers, and you see Brandon and Dylan like laughing, and then you see Dylan like get a dollar bill and put it in my boxers.
Hell yeah, because he got it. He understood the assignment.
Yeah,
that's great.
And so that was fun. I mean, there's places to like Under the Bridge, not getting boxers, not playing, but like Under the Bridge, like
well, technically you're not naked.
No, but
technically speaking. There's homeless people walking around Jacksonville in less clothing and are not getting arrested. Like, hell, even today. So today's Sunday, right? And I go into Publix with my son, and we go pick up snacks and stuff. And, like, there's 2 groups of individuals that look like they spent the day at the lake. And, I mean, they're walking around Publix in, like, 2-piece bathing suits. And it's Florida. Mm-hmm. Again, unless you're exposing yourself, as long as you have everything covered, in theory, you could walk around in a banana hammock and pasties. It's not like, if you want to.
That's what I'm doing next. No.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you're not exposing yourself and you're not like totally out there, that could be your outfit. Yeah. It's kind of like what describes a car on the highway. As long as you have headlights, taillights, and a working engine, you don't have to have any doors. You don't have to have any of that other stuff. Well, in the state of Florida, as long as you have headlights, if you have headlights, taillights, a working license plate, and an engine, obviously you need to go somewhere. Other than that, boom, you're pretty much it. So the state of Florida is the same way. As long as your headlights are covered and your taillights covered. If you want to walk in leather printed in Publix and ask for cannoli.
I'm a man cheetah.
Man cheetah. But no, so hot environments for minor influence required clothing optional. We've traveled. The bands played from St. Augustine and Brunswick. Tallahassee. Obviously, the rest of Florida is to be explored for future events. Here's a question. Besides Under the Bridge, and besides the club or the house parties in Tallahassee, are outside venues, like, do you prefer them outside or inside?
I mean, I don't know, like, so if it's outside, just as long as it's kind of not like we're sitting in 100 degrees, because like I remember we were when we played the first time we played Kona, we were supposed to play outside, but it rained, so then we got changed inside.
Because that was with Pitch. No, what was Mitch's band?
Powerball.
That was the Powerball. That was with a few bands.
I want to say Status Quo was one of them.
Might have been. I don't know. I had to look up.
There's pictures on the Facebook.
Kona was cool because, like I said, it was all around the skateboards and the mirrors.
And they've got a better setup now.
They do, yeah. Well, they've also done a lot of better shows. Like they had a whole wheat bread, Flag on Fire. They had a bunch of bands.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we've played. I mean, I don't remember playing outside a lot. We played outside at that Mind Over Music festival. We where else? I don't remember.
That's basically about it. But to me personally, because I remember you said this, when weather got cold, outside would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But it also depends on how cold it is, because if it's fucking 30 degrees, 35 degrees, right, you're gonna be doing bar chords, but I don't know, because the reason why I bring it up is because you got band, they just did Rock a Ring or something, or they did some sort of Rockville. But Rockville, they had Slaughter to Prevail, and they did a whole show in downpour, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then I watched other bands too that sometimes the atmosphere of it being outside adds to the ambiance.
Yeah.
Versus being inside, but then also too inside you can because when we went to go see the show at 5, it would have been a whole different event if it was outside. But since it was in that club,
yeah,
it was a whole thing.
The only fear I would have of playing, if it's pouring rain, is
gear damage.
My guitar getting damaged, and then. But I mean, if we're underneath the overhang, whatever kind of
getting rained on,
and it wouldn't really matter. Yeah, I mean, I don't want my guitar, or whatever, to get rained on. But if it got Woodstock '94 muddy, that would be fun.
I don't know. I'll leave it to fate to figure out if we ever do play a show and it ends up being in a hurricane or something and doing things. But anyway, so I'm gonna go back to a question I asked earlier, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
All right. So bathrooms in venues. The reason why I bring this up is because I don't know about you, but nothing bothers me more than trying to take a piss at a venue is different. Obviously, we have the tools that if we need to go find an alleyway and take a piss, we're good for the most part. But I don't know, something I remember besides all the other clubs we played, because of the people and the areas they were in, the bathrooms always strike to my mind. And the reason why I bring it up is for Shantytown's bathroom's cool, is because it's you walk in and I mean the toilet's custom painted, the wall is 6 feet high, full of stickers and graffiti, and it's a New York subway's toilet where it's I mean, it's kind of sketchy, but at the same time, if you need to take a piss, you take a piss. But Nobby's was interesting because it had one toilet, but that bathroom was big enough for a tub and a shower and everything. So it was when you went in there to go take a piss, it was like you were secluded enough that you were like you forgot you were actually at a club. Like the bathroom was so big that you were like, where am I at? And then places like 1904, their bathroom was interesting because it was like
I don't think I went.
I don't know. I guess it was interesting because it was like, I don't know. A lot of times people say, oh, when you go to a venue, especially if it's rocking, like a big rock venue, the bathroom's almost like CBGB, where the toilet sits on a throne exposed, and like people don't go to the bathroom other to do blow or have nasty sex, or both. And it's just like, I don't know. Like I actually like never had an issue, and Burrow Bar had a bathroom that was pretty like. I don't know, like I've never walked. Have you walked into a venue? Let me quit rambling. Have you ever walked into a venue, and the bathroom alone lets you know how the venue was going to turn out?
I mean, this is every venue's bathroom is gross. I'm just gonna pee, and it's like Jackrabbits. Smells awful.
I don't know. Jackrabbit's bathroom isn't bad.
No. I don't know. Last time we played there, it smells awful. Just like it's just like piss, just constant. I'm not. That's all I'm doing there. Is all I'm going when I'm in a venue bathroom. All I'm doing is peeing. I can hold it, and if I have to, I'm not sitting down on anything. I'm not catching any diseases. I'm just peeing.
Yeah.
If I had I don't know. That's.
Did you ever have? All right, so. To me, I what I'm bringing is that I can never relate to the bathroom to the venue because all the Rain Dog's bathroom didn't match the rest of the venue. 1904's bathroom matched because they painted the walls the same as the outside, as well as I think someone even put murals in there the same way that they put murals. So Shantytown's bathroom totally matches the aesthetic of the venue to a T.
Yeah.
But like. I don't know, there's been a few places where I went in there and I was just like, wow, like, I was expecting this place to be like the porcelain to be broken, the toilet not working, like, there's a rat caught in the sink, but instead it's like pristine, which is good. Like, I like hygiene, but, you know, maybe also, too, I've also kept recordings of that because, like, before every show, it was habitual for me to like take a dump.
I'm trying
before
to think.
every show, just to, like, get the nerves out and to fucking go out there because, you know, I could not go on stage on a full bladder, or for me to be like, I need to go poop.
I'm trying to think what the grossest venue bathroom was. I don't really know.
Hell, Heebie-Jeebies bathroom was freaking awesome.
Yours was good.
Yeah, like I said, it was.
I never went. Okay, so like if I did go to the bathroom, it was just like probably if it's a venue that I'm at for a while, like Heebie-Jeebies, or like I just peed. I guess it was a quick. You know,
that's fun.
Because if I have sodas and stuff, remember when they would give you free sodas and free beers? They'd give you drink tickets. Remember venues that they give you drink tickets?
We never did it because we weren't about that.
Oh, I didn't like beer at the time.
Maybe. I mean, even now, I liked beer then, but like I still was so focused on I wanted to be the best possible person I could be on stage, which sounds, however it sounds. But like I would always think to myself, like afterwards, drinking after the show seemed more logical than trying to drink before or during.
Well, back in the day, like I didn't like beer, so that I'm just like, give me a soda. You know, even afterwards, like, I don't like beer. You know, if I had anything, I would have like whiskey or whatever. But it's like I didn't, because they didn't give you drink tickets for that. But now I like beer, and now like. Before shows, I'll like when we play like not Jack, Shantytown always has like weird beers. Like I got that.
Shantytown does have a nice beer collection.
I had like a cinnamon bun ale one time, and I had this mochi blueberry ale. And, yeah, it's really good. So I'll have that before. Like I know that I'd have to drink because it'll take me. I don't know. I don't understand those people that are like. I'm like, you just got your beer 5 minutes ago. How are you done with it? Like. It takes me like...
You're not alcoholic.
No, but this is what I'm saying. No, like beer, like a can of beer can last me 20, 30 minutes. Can last me a while.
Yeah, screw
a
that.
glass, whiskey and Coke can last me a minute.
you know what that says?
What?
That says you would rather liquor is quicker. That's exactly what it is. You're like, no, fuck it. If I'm gonna have alcohol, give me alcohol. Don't give me bread in a can. That's essentially what that
They
is.
have canned bread.
Like, that's essentially what that means. That means you don't like beer is not like, because to me, this is another thing that I don't know if you know this, but I correlated venues also with food. So for instance, if we played at Jackrabbits, it was tradition to go to Hurricane
Oh yeah.
because the restaurant was right there. So I'd go to Hurricane, eat there, and then play at Jackrabbits. Like that was the tradition. If it was at Nobby's, you ate either at the venue itself, because they had like they had sandwiches and things like that. I usually got like a mozzarella stick, something simple, like they just put it in the fryer. They had stuffed mushrooms that were pretty good. I ate Nobby's a few times, but like that was the thing, is that we would like any venue you named came with, like Wendy's was synonymous with HBGB or heebie-jeebie, because Wendy's was what was the last fast food thing before you got on 95 or whatever to get back to Jacksonville. So Wendy's was always like, if we did a show, Wendy's was going to be the food afterwards. If we did 1904, it was always Spliffs because it was next door.
But what about remember this? What about I remember every time, because we when we played a show in Jacksonville, we came back because like we either carpooled, like I had someone or I had gear in my car, and then Cameron and you were in one car, whatever. I remember us always going to Whataburger because Cameron worked at Whataburger and we got half off all the time, and we'd just sit at Whataburger, then we'd go our separate ways.
Whataburger's good. Whataburger's still good. I don't know why people look at Whataburger and they go like, oh, it could be better. Like, to be honest with you, Whataburger has never given me food poisoning. Whataburger has never steered me wrong. Whataburger is still 24-hour even after COVID.
Yeah.
And even when Cameron wasn't there, Whataburger always delivered when it was like, if I had the money. The only difference is though is that Whataburger requires money. McDonald's is, if I find enough change in my couch, I can get something.
But
from
you know
McDonald's.
what's great about Whataburger compared to the other fast food places?
What?
If you want, you're like, I want a big burger from McDonald's, so you have to unhinge your jaw. But like Whataburger just got wide. McDonald's, all those you get unhinge your jaw. Whataburger's just wide.
Yeah, but Whataburger, yes, Whataburger was synonymous with, in general, if it was the end of band practice, and that was because Cameron, like I said, or shows.
Because even so much so that like the most recent time when we played, or not the most recent time, but when we played Tallahassee, because we played it twice. The first time, we were looking forward to it the next day. It saved our life. Like, I mean, oh my God.
Yeah, so when bands talk about, oh, it's In-N-Out Burger, no, it's Whataburger.
It's
Whataburger.
It was Whataburger. I mean, because the next day, that show was.
That's another time.
Oh, that's another time. That's when the band is here, and we can all talk about it, because we all got a story about it. I mean.
Yeah. But no.
Did we have any crazy stuff happen at old shows?
Yeah. You wore a prom dress and got.
I'm talking about like a fight.
Again, I just told you the first show.
The stabbing, yes.
Someone got stabbed a block away, and everything was yellow taped, and like JSO was out there trying to figure out who did what, and it was because someone got stabbed.
I think I remember that.
Out there, I do vividly. I remember after Nobby's biggest thing was, since college kids showed up, people would be like I don't know if you remember this, but there was a few times that party favors were passed around at Nobby's, but it was outside, and then people obviously took party favors, and then that was their whole thing because like the doorman like openly admitted that he'd like taken acid and he'd been on like a thing for 2 days, and I was just like, that's some strong shit if this is like day 3 and you're still like, or he also could have been high on something else, I don't know, but like across the street.
We played there a lot.
Across the street was fun, but across the street's biggest thing was that, so the people across the street would always go to like a certain person's house for like the after party, and there was always like powder. That was the party favor of choice, was like everybody was into like quote unquote B12 supplements for your nose, and like. So the things that happen at those house parties will definitely be for another time, because like things that I seen was wild. Because that was, but also too, you got to think, Minor Influence never stood for, we liked crazy antics, we liked good music, we liked hanging out, but never to the point of access of like gratuitous sex, gratuitous violence. It wasn't like we weren't straight edge, but at the same point, like the worst thing we did is I smoked Marlboro Reds
and drank alcohol.
And Jason drank excessively, and that was it. Cody smoked. Cameron might have not even done any of that stuff because he hadn't even turned 21 yet at those ages. Jeremy definitely didn't do it because of his household. Taylor didn't do it because he wasn't about that life. Like, the most badass thing about Minor Influence was I'd smoke cigarettes and we did
crazy stuff on stage.
And you did crazy stuff on stage. But like we weren't like altar boys.
Now this, Minor Influence 2.0, that man, like there was almost a fight that broke out at a Shadytown show.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, like...
Yeah, no, I get that. Like, obviously things evolve, but no, like, Minor Influence never stood for, like, we were... The whole thing, the band was built to just create music and create memories. That was it. To be a minor influence to the local music community, and to maybe one day have other people branch out and go, you know what, I remember hearing the band so-and-so, and that's what got me into doing it. That was the whole prospect, and like still is, of the band. It's nothing about we're out here to like be Rick James or be,
something crazy,
James Brown or anything. Like, we're not trying to blow our minds with drugs and all this other stuff. It's cool. I mean, other people dabbled in it, and that was their fun, was to like go and explore themselves that way. But that wasn't the whole process of what we were trying to do. We were basically just like, hey, we wrote this song, it's fun, let's go play it. If we end up getting, props for the show, or if we end up pissing off a sound guy because we decided to do antics that they didn't like because they're like, whatever. And it's just like, no, we're here to just have fun and goof off and be silly instead of dangerous. Like, Minor Influence is definitely not like danger.
We're pretty hardcore.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
PG-13.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One F-bomb throughout the entire hour-and-a-half movie.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a movie, and it's gonna be rated R, and you're gonna watch it. Like, it's gonna be there's gonna be, you have to sign a form before you see it that you can't say like anything about it afterwards. For
it's
like
all snuff film.
No, so what's gonna happen is you're gonna watch it and you'll be like, what the hell? Why is this like rated R? Because like the whole movie, it's gonna be like
everything's fine.
Yeah, it's just gonna be G-rated, and at the end, it's gonna be fuck, and you're like, oh.
Like Sausage Party.
Yeah, but like the whole movie is gonna be G-rated. Then the end is gonna be like
gratuitous. Jesus.
And you're like, oh, that's why it's R.
Yeah, I waited an
hour and a half.
An hour and a half for the last 10 minutes of this film to just be gratuitous amounts of everything.
Oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, I see the rated R thing.
You think we'll ever get a parental advisory sticker?
We would have to be on a label, or we'd have to be mass produced for them to go through it. And also too, you would have to write lyrics that actually because again, I think we've only cussed on stage to add emphasis on a few things, but never to the gratuitous amount where it's
Anarchy, I've cussed. We've cussed
yeah, but
anarchy.
even then though, it's not like that's like we wrote the lyric. I don't think we've ever wrote lyrics where fuck or something had to be put in to be like, oh, this will fit. Like it just ends up happening live, but in the recording, it's pretty much like, no, we'll think of a different word. I don't know. I mean, nowadays they'll put a parental advisories, not even like they'll put a parental advisory not because of the lyrics, but because what they're talking about. Like suicide. If you write a song about suicide, I know that will lead to some sort of warning because of mental health nowadays. That people would be like, be advised, the song is about that or whatever else. But anyway, but no, so ladies and gentlemen, for the two people that are listening to this wonderful broadcast of Babble, the Babble Show, Babble Podcast, sponsored by Minor Influence, learned about bathrooms, learned about you and your antics, a little bit more about different shows that hopefully we'll do again and maybe reinvigorate some of those ideas or be fresh.
We'll
think of new things. We'll think about it. But
definitely together the other guys and talk about the Tallahassee shows because they've got different viewpoints.
I know. That's episode 3. But for everybody else at home, enjoying these wonderful little tidbits. Be safe. I don't know. Stay dry. Stay hydrated. It's 100 degrees outside most of the time, even at 7 o'clock at night. It's still freaking 98 degrees, so just stay cool and be safe. Love each other and look forward to more material. Isolation on Spotify. Give it a listen. Find some of these videos. There's plenty of them on YouTube. I don't know.
Find these old videos and embarrass them.
Yeah. We love y'all.